and yet now they stand on the precipice of power. Do you kind of sense in your conversations with Labour people that they still can't quite believe what's happening to them after everything they've gone through? You know, like the trauma of the Corbyn years and the 2019 election, to come back and to be where they are just now seems extraordinary.
Yeah, and I think that's absolutely right. And having spoken to one senior Labour campaign member last week who could just about remember 1997, but certainly wasn't old enough to vote then, there is still a sort of feeling of, is this really happening to us? And I think it's important to look at Labour's campaign in 2024, which has been criticised by some as being overly cautious, at times even downright dull. But everything that Labour are doing now is a reaction to the disaster of 2019 and other election losses before that. This is what, you know, the very safe campaign messaging, the very stage-managed events that Labour have been putting on, they're all a reaction to a decade where almost it looked like they were facing an existential crisis, and people were openly questioning whether Labour could ever take power again. Even when Boris Johnson was returned as Prime Minister in 2019, people were openly talking about another decade at least of Conservative government, Labour being out of power till potentially the 2030s. And yet here we are now, where Keir Starmer, if polls are correct, could potentially win a bigger majority than Tony Blair did in 1987, which is just remarkable on so many different levels. And I think even amongst the public, where there is a widespread acceptance that we're on the verge of a Labour government, until it actually happens, until we actually see the kind of majority they win and the scale of the Conservative defeat, it won't really hit home. Because people, again, you know, there's been a lot of critics of the Labour Party have said, oh, well, there's no enthusiasm for Keir Starmer, no real enthusiasm for his Labour Party. But as Molly points out, so many people are just simply done with the Conservatives, fed up with them, that I think, you know, if we do see the scale of defeat that polls are predicting come Friday, I think there will be a level of jubilation amongst the electorate, thinking, well, finally they've got their comeuppance. And, you know, given everything that's happened, it'd be kind of hard to say that wouldn't be fair or justified.